the national president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, is joining me virtually. Comrade Chris Isiguzo. Glad to have you join us, comrade. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Right, interesting. You're live on Flow 94.9 FM. Let's begin the conversation. Can we have a general outlook of what it means to practice journalism in Nigeria? I mean the daily challenges that we go through.
Okay, thanks again for having me. First of all, today is World Press Freedom Day, and it is the 30th anniversary of World Press Freedom Day, having been adopted in Namibia in 1991, and of course it became a working document accepted by the United Nations General Assembly in 1993, and the World Press Freedom Day seeks to highlight issues that surround press freedom, and of course brings to the fore the responsibility of government in respecting its own obligation, which it willingly entered into in 1993, is also a time when we look at the challenges that face media freedom. And lastly, it is also a time when we remember our people who had lost their lives in the line of duty. Now, talking about the issues, factors militating against press freedom in Nigeria, there are so many. You look, first of all, we have the economic challenge. We have the ownership challenge. We have digital challenge. When you talk about economic challenge, I want to recall the experience that we had at the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic last year. It came to Nigeria on the 27th of February, 2020. In the course of this pandemic, which took off as a public health challenge, public health crisis, it nosedived to become an economic challenge. The entire system was literally shut down. The media was worst hit, no doubt about it. Adverts, patronage from individuals, from private organizations, from government to the media practically collapsed. And what that means is that a media house that relies on adverts, on patronage to run its activities, now started finding it difficult to remain afloat. And in order to remain afloat and not cave in, of course, naturally, you've got to reach out to people to support you. It could be politicians. And by the time you are having this economic challenge, the implication is that whoever pays the piper dictates the tone. If somebody is going to support you, that your neutrality, media independence would have taken flight. So now you cannot pay your workers. Those that are paid at all are epileptically paid. And when people are not properly paid, you cannot have the moral standpoint to tell somebody to abide by code of ethics. So you can now see the challenge from the economic point of view. Then you have the issue of ownership, where owners begin to censor what comes out from their media outfits. It is more pronounced at the state level, where opposition parties are not allowed to express themselves. That is ownership, because government would always want to get across to the citizenry what they want them to know. Now you have the issue of digital challenge. The advent of social media has also put the journalists in a tight corner. When you write maybe a commentary or feature article or political analysis that does not favor the government or does not favor certain organizations, they have the wherewithal to recruit social media actors to swoop on you. And when that happens, there is that psychological effect on you. So some of these issues are militating against free press in Nigeria.
All right, you've taken time to do stock taking already. On a day like this, we expect that NUJ will do stock taking actually, but you're yet to talk about the issue of the government. So, in view of all that has happened, what will the NUJ, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, be demanding from the government, the federal government, and of course down to the state level?
Government has a responsibility to uphold its own commitments. In 1993, all the nations that are member states of the United Nations accepted these documents. You understand? So government must uphold its own obligation, must respect what the agreement it entered into. Now it is the responsibility of government to provide conducive environment for media practice. A situation where journalists are constantly harassed, intimidated, in most cases incarcerated. We've had instances where people even lost their lives in the line of duty. It does not say good of our democracy. We must bear in mind that Section 22 of the 1999 Constitution reposed in the media the responsibility of holding government to account. What that means is that the media stands as a middleman between the government and the governed. Without the media, there is that relationship between the government and the governed will not exist. The media serves as the conscience of the society. The media gives voice to the people. And when free expression, as guaranteed by the Constitution, is not allowed to thrive, then democracy is a peril.
Okay. Interestingly, you've talked about conducive environment not being given, not being allowed by the government. Now, I'm asking, what is expected from the journalist? Because severally, the government has complained that both at the state and the federal level, they have complained that the journalists, they are not fair in their reportage sometimes. They go as far as not having balanced reportage, and sometimes it puts the government in power in doubt, and people tend to believe the journalists. So what is expected from the journalists?
Okay. Now, the theme of this year's World Press Freedom Day is information as a public good. Now, what this means is that the importance of verified, authentic information cannot be overemphasized. And it also brings to the fore the effort that journalists put in place, they put in ensuring that they give to the public accurate information. And when government continuously withholds information from the journalists, what you have inadvertently done is to promote fake news, is to promote disinformation, is to promote misinformation. So the journalists must have unfettered access to information from government at all times. Most times, government will say that they are not allowing them to balance, they are not allowing them to respond to issues. They go to the press without government contribution and what have you. But in most instances, you see that government is not even making themselves available to the journalists. And what now happens is that you allow the journalists to begin to speculate. And once speculation takes place, there's no way government will be protected. Government must allow itself to be assessed by the media. You understand? So the journalist is ever ready. There is no journalist that is worth his onion that will not at all times churn out, disseminate accurate, verified, authentic information, balanced information. But government must have to make itself available so that the journalist can effectively discharge his responsibilities.
All right. Just before I let you go this morning, Comrade Chris, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, as a body in which you're heading, what is that union doing? What is the union doing to ensure standard and professionalism among her members?
Well, we have always engaged in constant training and retraining of our members because it is very, very important. I'm going to draw an analogy now. If you are thirsty and you drink from a running water, that is in the gutter. You go and fetch water from the gutter that is running. Or you drink from a pool of water that is stagnant. Chances are that you will die faster from the water you took from the stagnant pool of water. Therefore, the journalist that is not exposed to constant training and retraining is danger to the society. That's why we take the issue of training very, very seriously, so that our people would always be up to date with the realities, with the dynamics in the media industry. And when we do that, we are clearly professionalizing, ensuring that our people effectively compete with their contemporaries in other climes. Apart from the issue of training, we have also constantly made available our code of ethics to our members, to practitioners, because we've also understood the fact that most of our people don't even know what this document looks like, what the ethics look like, and all that. So that's why at every point in time, we also make it available to them so that they understand what it means to practice journalism. Journalism is not about mercantile interest or pecuniary interest. You do journalism for the good of the society. And that is what we are ensuring that we indoctrinate, allow me to use that word, into our people. You know, now the issue, some of the challenges we've raised, I must tell you that as a union, we have increased our level of engagement, interface with media owners, with government, with security operatives, because all in all, they contribute to ensuring that there is free press in the society.
All right, Comrade Chris Isiguzo, I want to really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us as far as today's celebration is concerned. We do appreciate you.
The pleasure is all mine.
Thank you very much. We do appreciate that. Comrade Chris Isiguzo, the National President of the Nigerian Union of Journalists.